You started with the Thiel Fellowship money with your friend Anuj, Oravel, later
Became OYO.
converted to OYO. When did the scaling happen?
First year was very small. Like I think 2014, we grew from 2 hotels to maybe 10, 15 hotels. Still a lot, but not like massive. I think the real growth happened from 2014 all the way to 2017, which is where we went from a few hotels in one city to becoming one of the most prominent hotel brands in India in the economy and economy plus kind of segment. 2019 is when the scaling then happened globally. We went from being an India brand to becoming a globally prominent brand. So for example, just in Europe, we manage 150,000 holiday homes. So we have a fairly large business in Denmark, Netherlands, Germany, and few of these geographies.
You were describing post getting funded.
Post getting funded, yeah.
with
So I think
Anuj, you
2019 was a
started
big global growth.
How much money did you guys end up raising? A lot, right?
Yeah, we raised close to $1.5 billion.
Overall?
Overall. Little over that. Right? So already I think in 2019, when we grew this global expansion and we also made a couple of acquisitions, I think we were starting to see pains of growth. Pains of growth meaning...
How many hotels did you have by then? India, you said international you mentioned, but India?
Similar as we have today. I think total 15,000 के आसपास hotels सब already हो गए थे. COVID में we came down, now we are bouncing back. So we're a fairly sizable business. And if I add China, it was more at that point of time. Right? So then, what did growing pains mean? Growing pains mean that naturally economics were bad. Right? And that was bad in a very unique way. 90% of our hotels were revenue share hotels. 10% were minimum guarantee. Those 10% hotels drove most of the losses, and 90% of them were highly margin accretive always. I think the management bandwidth to run a business of that spread. And you never, in reflection, I can say that we grew more than we should have, but at that point of time, it's hard to know when you grew too much because there's no playbook. Like opening 30 stores is good, 10 stores is good, 20 stores is good. There's no arithmetic to it.
And it was never written by us also that this year we'll do that many.
Correct. So
how did you handle that stress of having $1 billion plus money into the system? Someone's money, right? And Agarwal or Marwadi, to, you know, ek bhar hai for the 20-year-old guy.
Yes, yes.
What's that weight on that shoulder? I mean, I can't even hold that up.
Look, I think, how do
you handle
both
this?
Plus accountability. Because once people invest the capital, then they require the monthly update, the regular reviews. You have any questions that can come up. I think fundamentally for me, in the early days especially, to capital nahi raise karna was not a choice because I had no resources. So initial chota mota capital to zaruri tha. I think India leadership sort of happened organically. Uske baad mein jo global expansion tha, that was in my view driven by my own personal belief in impact. Like what drives me every day? Ek hai complex problems. Dusra, how many people's lives I am touching. That fundamentally, I believe that makes a positive difference. And good news is that also commercially has a positive impact because the more number of people you are basically impacting allows you to be able to hopefully make some additional outcome. But it came with challenges and there were mistakes made. I have no qualms about saying it. So I started fixing and consolidating 2020 early.
You think admitting mistakes early?
Sorry?
Admitting mistakes early, big part of being successful?
I think so. I think admitting mistakes and saying mea culpa is critical because a lot of times...
Early,
yes. The reason is, when you're having you effectively as a business leader or an entrepreneur, you have to be able to make decisions. To make decisions, it's critical to have conversations which are authentic and not pretentious. The only way you can have a non-pretentious conversation is if the elephant is out of the room. If people don't talk about elephant, then you can have many conversations. सामने वाला हमेशा ये सोच रहा है कि अच्छा, but इनसे ये गलती हुई थी, फिर भी मतलब ये लोग अभी कह रहे हैं कि we will bounce back, कैसे हो जाएगा वो? But if you're able to say that these are the mistakes that were made and you have to be honest about it because it is very easy to understand because कथनी और करनी में बहुत ज़्यादा difference नहीं होता है. मतलब हमारे business में you can see it, right? Like because you can just come out of this, like you can go to Indira Nagar, see an OYO hotel, and say like see traces of what I have said there and the other way around in some context, right? Or it's true for all of our businesses. That if mistakes are made, that will be visible at our
I think
stores.
this is also very true for all successful businesses because I see a lot of founders not having the courage to admit that they've made a mistake. And what happens is they try and continue to conceal it because they've pitched it in a certain way. They feel that their word is so strong, it becomes an ego problem, and they don't want to, one, admit it. And because of that, they fall into that loop where you're not correcting. The only way to figure
and you become
things
more
out
lonely as an
is-
outcome
Yeah.
because more and more people sort of desert you. So I believe that admitting mistake early is crucial, and it is also crucial to make sure that you are close to your roots. I think if you're when you try to run away from mistakes, it's a very easy way of running away from reality, and then you sort of build a world around yourself which is just entirely. But anyway, I think long story short, I think mistakes were made. I was consolidating. By the time I could fix it, Mr. COVID knocked on the doors and said, well,
We'll do it faster.
right, I'll make it harder for you. So imagine I had forward invested that we were the year before COVID, we grew 300%. Right? COVID hits. So you had forward invested for growth. You're starting to consolidate. But you're able to fund it partly through the margins you're generating from the current revenues, right? And partly through external financing. With COVID, 65% of your revenue overnight evaporate. Right? So in effect, you have to fund 100% or majority through external financing. There is a limit to the capital available. There's not infinite capital available with anyone. Especially for a business that is shrinking. A business that is growing higher, slower, you can debate. But a business has shrunk during COVID. So it was hard on us. Most digital-led brands, right? E-commerce आप देख लो, gaming देख लो, कोई भी industry देखो, they all saw massive ramp up during COVID. Now,
Not travel.
Here I am,
Not
where my revenue is shrink 65%. And people were basically calling the entire deck, right from my CXOs to the last person, recruiters calling, saying, देखो, OYO का stock का क्या होगा नहीं पता, company क्या होगा नहीं पता, here's 2 or 3x salary jump, और हमारे यहाँ पे pay cut चल रहा है.
And these were other travel companies.
No, our people are not specialists, right? Our people are technology people. So you basically can recruit them
Architects.
across
Got it.
mostly generalists, right?
Got it.
In terms of construct. So the fungibility of talent is very high with other tech companies. So you देखो आपको 2 गुना salary, stock तो ज़्यादा है ही है, lifestyle भी बेहतर, things will be much better as an outcome. So I think fundamentally at that point of time, I feel like that 1 year was probably one of the toughest ones as an operator to drive. But I think at the same time, I feel like that 1 year really transformed our company as well as the way we think and operate. I think now we become very comfortable being
Clean
a
up.
30% growth company. हमें नहीं बनना है मतलब अभी 200-300% growth. We are happy about it. I think we have a sense of semblance on what we believe is our cash flow margins. And for us, I think we have a consumer rating expectation below which we will not grow. We have a merchant revenue expectation below which will not grow. And we have a margin expectation at the EBITDA and cash flow level. जब तक ये तीन है, we want to grow as quickly as we can. अगर नहीं होता तो we will not grow. I think a lot of these perspectives, I think would have come anyway over time. But I think COVID accelerated that significantly without giving a choice.
I think what you're also saying is a big determinant of success is the ability to get punched, not necessarily punch.
Yeah.
And be sanguine about it and go about
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Big precursor to success, right? But I think any startup journey, you got to be okay to get beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
will definitely
वो तो-
get beaten up. How fast are you able to bounce back? I think that's
And you
critical.
don't kind of react or...
Yeah. Yeah. Like you would have...
I've never seen you speak back on social media,
Yeah.
defend yourself in a weird manner, in a defensive manner, right?
No. I think personally, I think I have learned to take criticism in a very... and I believe it will be very valuable for other young people listening also. like if I read some of the business leaders, some people say that I don't read news about us. Actually, I am quite the contrary. I read everything. I have no problem reading everything. But I can read everything and feel comfortable that उसमें से noise क्या है और signal क्या है. So I think fundamentally criticism can be constructive or it can be just noise. Noise never sticks because noise by design. तो अगर कोई चीज़ ऐसा है that I am reading about myself that I don't know about, right? Like there'd be some news of saying that अच्छा OYO is buying some business in Southeast Asia or some business in Middle East. I know there's no सच्चाई to it. So some people speculate, वो बात हो खत्म हो जाए, it's done. Or something will come about, well, Ritesh is going to do something new very soon. So I feel like it's a noise, it will not stick.
Hi, I'm Nikhil Kamath. I'd love to know what you thought of the episode. Comment, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.